Hey, Chris back today with a boring day. I don't see writing anytime soon. I tried that earlier this morning. I was like, stylistically, can I come back to this and be able to continue with the style? What was the reason for the style that I was doing? And then realizing at that time there were different people around. At the same time, carry some of that on. I don't know. Anyway, the idea began in the Old West, and some knowledge of that, but mostly from adventure, like old Western travelers into a lake on an adventure. See, what I would say would be like the same idea of adventure, but at the same time, or the same feeling of adventure. Oh, so yeah, descriptive words today are like bedent. I'm like, great. What do I do today then? So I paid another debt, I guess, in full. Found out that information today. Like boring day. Okay, so baseline of chaos is stillness. So the only reason you know it is chaos is because you know peace. I don't know though. Don't. Like, I'll get there. So yeah, I can't figure out what I want to do today. Just sitting here, starting to form a headache. Lovely. Need to remove that so it's not near there. Documents, sound recording, text documents, the A log, the general info, the Inspiron information. What am I looking for? I'm like writing. What do I want to write? I lost an entire piece of writing simply because I don't know the password to the compressed file, and it's encrypted. So, like, is there like a little time capsule? Okay, not really. So yeah, don't know what I want to write about. It's messing around with an autobiography. No. Gold Lake Valley. See, Jot should be right there. Comedy, dramatic. I don't know. Tactic limits. I don't know what that one was about. I think it was Metaplast. 3,000 tactic limits. It was mostly like teenagers, I think it was. Kind of like. Could change the age group. It's like, say, high above a city of plastic, towering in the blue sky are sharp scrapers. Sharp skyscrapers. Sky scrapers. In the clear blue windows, civilians are about daily activity. Whistle like car horns, pedestrian chatter, representative thud of nearby construction is in the area. Vehicles exude an unrealistic dynamic shape. I don't know about that exude. Exude is not really that. Vehicles are of an unrealistic dynamic shape. So you go not dynamic, but unrealistic geometric shape. Geometric shape. Irregular, maybe? Regular geometry. Be different. And then plastic rail liner hovers along a trail. Plastic rail liner hovers along a trail, yeah. Okay. So then there's dropping down onto a small and empty raised sports field. We see a tree shaded school just below. So you have this big field that sits right over the school. It's kind of weird. But anyway, I heard digital chime, school it's out. Or school. Actually, I don't like that one. School it's out. Let's see. Let's say recession begins. Diverse student begins. diverse student populace wearing dull yet differently designed clothing like ants scurrying about. Like ants are scurrying about. It's just scurrying ants, so they're very small. You can't really make any detail out of that. There's the N, which is really weird. 17 beautiful tomboy type, seated alone. Ponytail, dull t-shirt, jeans, designed pants drifting in the breeze. Somehow she knew me. Center frame, she opens a book. David, a young scholarly, well-spoken student, interrupts, and then they start talking. I don't remember this story too much. It's just random, like, chitter-chatter about each other. Like, where's this? What are we doing then? Kind of just boredom. Gets back to school. Kale. And there's kale. What the hell? Kale. I don't know. I imagine the green leafy vegetable. Kale. Youthful, exuberant young man interrupts. And then they're talking like law enforcement, policing, stuff like that. So Kale's that, big, youthful, exuberant, dude. It's probably going to do that. And throughout years, I might be able to sort of advance and develop the story at some point to advance to the future with these characters, meaning that they will age, I guess, substantially, but not enough. So you go from the age of, what, like 16, 17. And 16, 17, bam, all of a sudden they're like 35, 40. And they're faced with similar, I guess, similar situations. I don't know about that though. Tactic limits. I haven't developed this one enough. Shy, she joins Kevin, a short, petite. Kevin's, who else Kevin? There repeats in a few. Or not repeats, but this name, I like it. Kevin. Okay, so then you go a short, petite, middle-aged school teacher, and a tall, spectacle-wearing gent. Fully gent. He's like the dorky type. And they think he's dorky, but he's like super intelligent because he doesn't say much, He'll get there when he gets there kind of situation. As opposed to, scholarly. Just like outspoken, we're already there. He's a gent. I like gentleman. Anyway, a small dark lecture stadium shows tactic history. Tactic is also the name of a place. So you go tactic history. 100, and also a tactic. 180-degree quarter hemisphere viewing wall. I like that idea. Anyway, there's motion pictures, reenact Tactic City and world historical events. As they're walking into this area, fairly dimly lit. The viewing wall is like mostly lit, so you'd say probably green screen area, big huge green screen area where they can project or not project, but there's a chroma key and image over. How does that work? I don't even know how that works. Anyway, cityscape. Polluted cityscape fades as a feeble old voice, that of the narrator, booms, and then I don't know about this. It's a boom, and the difficulty there, as the piece of imagery that I just imagined, is that when this narrator voice booms, cuts in, the students' faces turn toward the viewing screen while they're still finding their seats. That could cause some confusion, and if not completely, physically accurate with surroundings, they can trip, fall, so on and so forth. So anyway, years ago, in collaboration, two scientists, father and son team Arnold and Jeffrey Jetteroy, the Jetsons, Jetteroy, anyway, concluded the most extensive world plan ever attempted by world leaders and our own government. And you go, a project led by our own president, Michael Schwistel, or Swiss, something like that. Schwistel was a turning the turning point in all of civilization. And you go activity at the United Nations building. I don't even know where that's at, but anyway, plan was formed. Each changed history and science forever. You'll see four-quadrant photos, scientists in laboratories conducting multiple and gooey white substance examinations. Not examinations. Yes, examinations. You go, Arnold and Jeff Jetteroy, centered in four quadrants, wave at us. So it's a little like I say there's four quadrants like framing. So you have four quadrant framings A, B, C, D, so on and so forth with the X, Y axis type relation between them, as well as a frame outside. So you go, it's a full screen flat hemisphere, and when the image is projected, there are four quadrants, four different scenes, I'll say. So you have four different scenes in the four quadrants, and basically it's like an overlay. Arnold and Jeff Jetteroy overlay the four quadrants, and then you see them waving at the students and also us. So it's kind of like relation. Here's the reference. So here's the sort of situation. You're one of them. Put yourself in their situation, and then you're hearing of history as a student of this high school would hear it of the place they live. Uh, there they are now, and then you can hear the narrator. We can thank Arnold Jeff for Mutaplast, which was plastic made products. Almost anything is plastic kind of situation, and you take your plastic to not distribution centers. You take your okay when you come of age, you're allowed this or that, and then they say okay, you go to a distribution center, pick up your Mutaplast that you're going to use, and basically this plastic becomes what you use throughout life. It's Mutaplast. So say you have a form of a fork, and this Mutaplast, you don't need the fork anymore, or it needs to be sanitized. Take the plastic to the Mutaplast sanitation center and remolding, I guess. So you take that to them, they sanitize it, and then mold it into something you need. And there's only so much of it you're going to need, depending on your life choice. So then you go, the evolution began, and swiftly, one by one, several aspects of life became a recollection of the survival techniques. So we'll say, Mutaplast replaced all toxic building substances. This once white goo became clear in walls we see of Tactic City, or like the walls we see all across Tactic City. Became the clear walls we see all across Tactic City, and the cause of our now flourishing rainforests. They say, Mutaplast, not like plastic now, has to be heated to a certain degree before it melts, reformation, and then there's a toxic substance released after each time. So you say, okay, what if you could take plastic and you can meld it and meld it and meld it, and just the heat itself sanitizes it. So you go, okay, you have this plastic, the heat sanitizes it and forms it into what you need. So if you have really non-porous plastic, super non-porous plastic, one that can't be really scraped or anything like that, because your environment where you live is mostly plastic. So it's plastic on plastic, it doesn't really rub too much. Anyway, so you go plastic and plastic. There's the thinner the stretch, I guess, on the plastic, the clearer the white goo becomes. So the white goo, is the beginning plastic. For you stretch it, clearer it becomes. So everything's, white to clear, almost. It's opacity. So anyway, let's say rainforests are now flourishing. I'm like, what? That's possible. Anyway, so Mutaplast is substance derived from the process of producing plastic without any harmful effects or byproducts. So producing plastic or creating plastic with, hey, stop. With plastic. And it doesn't lose its purity somehow. Come on. Over there. Scoot. No, I'm serious. Scoot it. Anyway. This is where I was going with that idea. It's Mutaplast. I don't know if they ever... Yeah, they do. Mutaplast replaces all toxic buildings. So you go Mutaplast. And I'm like, yes, it's formable. And they're like, we don't like the word muta. And I'm like, I do. That would be an argument. And then we move on to coffee and crumpets. Anyway, Plastic without any harmful effects or byproducts. Every touchable device, not planetary, is comprised of this mutaplast. So you say really, 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 really thick plastic that does not melt on exit. I might get it right. So you go, NASA, your mutaplast is melting. We can't get into space. I don't know what you're talking about. Kind of situation. We're in space and plastic. That would actually work. Like whatever. Maybe a very very thin metal only for that purpose. But anyway, cleaning byproducts are used not only for cleaning but have uses when used as a cleaning product for the environment. So you say we know enough about elements, chemicals, say that a cleaning product can also be useful in an environment. So you say, how do I do that? You say, okay, we need oxygen. Is oxygen, I mean, can you clean with oxygen? And I'm like, I don't know. It's air, technically. You know, like air. Whatever's in air. So anyway, you know, like more oxygen can be used in an area. If you use too much oxygen, it's not a good idea. But anyway, you know, open your doors, let the air out. I'm like, yes, you know, oxygen and other types of chemicals. I don't know. I didn't look enough into that because I don't know chemicals very well. Right now we're using bleach. And there was a cleaning product, I think it was like seventh generation, I think it was, which is cleaning products that do not affect the environment as toxic as some others do toxic. With I don't even know how to say that. Toxins like ammonia, which is disgusting. Where I think only the harshest chemicals should be used to clean things in situations like hospitals, doctors' offices, stuff like that. You know, not at home. You keep it clean, dust free with like water. Doesn't take a lot of cleaning products. Unless, you know, the cat like doo-doos and you know, drags a turd across the floor and then you're like, oh, what is this? You know, cat's like, yeah. You're like, oh crap. You know, grab a cleaning product, try to clean it. Anyway, that's do Lysol usually. So anyway, when used as a cleaning product for the environment, and you're like, what do you do with parasites? I'm like, they're mostly eaten. And then, you know, they're again, doctor's office. Only in those situations, I think. Why do we use cleaning products any other time? I don't get that part. But anyway, see the largest scientific laboratory structures built with mutaplast material. And you go, during 3010, first into use came dual-use products, which would begin the transformation of harmful chemicals to useful elements. And then you go, distribution leaders, you know, it's a visual. This is dorky. Over metal, the earth began to cover. Like what? And the new mutaplast came to be. Sort of dorky. I liked the idea. With useful emissions, the government discontinued producing nuclear weaponry and biohazards in exchange with populace count statistics. What? Man-made hazards were phased from Earth and jobs were successfully transferred. Something about a career. Career field. Career field, no, you say fields of study, transferred to fields of study. Scientists during the early 3000 the year 3000 distributed the repetitive theory, a theory following accuracy and consistency. Soon thereafter, those whom attempted to retaliate, known as the rejects of the religious realm, soon forgave the fearless society. The theory adopted entitled "The Inhabitants of the Planet" many facts that over millions of years the metals hence past would melt into the mantle and were banned from use forever. Like what? Too far ahead? Damn. Time capsule. Anyway, 3080. Jeff Jetteroy Jeff Jetter's design of the sheltering cube began to replace every home in existence. I thought of the cat freaking the little cubes, you can have for like an entire cat habitat. Cubes. They're like boxes, hollow boxes with holes. Now that wouldn't be the same here, but they're like boxes with holes. Cat can travel from one, and the only reason I say this is because we're human bipeds, cats are quadrupeds. The holes they can easily go through, get the front paws through, then the back paws, so on and so forth. Humans, it's not so much. We don't do that. So, and it's a sheltering cube, size of a small house with possibilities to add to that depending on the size of necessary family. I guess it is depending on field of study, advancement, stuff like that. And then you go, yes, everyone has that right. Did not say the quantity. And I'm like, whatever. Q began to replace every home in existence. Every tool was replaced with reconstructible plastic. So we'll say this reconstructible plastic we now know as a share of Mutaplast. And then you go, it's a share. So that word can be changed. We know as a let's say it's not any of those words. Let's see, we'll say a possession of Mutaplast. Say possession though. It's a possession of Mutaplast. So you go, it is a possession. It's for the last of a lifetime. So you go, okay, word to describe. Heirloom, no, didn't know, because describe as a word to describe an accurate, I guess, let's see, an accurate quantity one would use for life. It isn't one, it's the same concept. Not defect. Word to describe an accurate quantity one would use for lifetime. So it's a measure of science, quantity and magnitude. That's not it. Goal is an objective bank. No. It's like one thing that you would use for life. No more, no less, just perfect. Kind of like perfection. So you say, fully sufficient, plentiful, rich, combined joy, positive thesaurus. Life without it is like a sunless garden when flowers are dead. List of positive words that can be used to describe flowers. No. High quantity, more than adequate, fully sufficient, plentiful, rich. Perfection. What do you call it? A prime? Maybe. Go with the number relation. So a prime number is almost perfect. It can't be. Let's say a prime value. Is it a number or value? Say it's a value. Prime value. Federated Institution Prime Value Obligations Fund. What the heck? Prime Value Alexis. MSCI USA Prime Value Index. Yeah, there. What do I call this? We'll call this a prime possession. Prime possession of Mutaplast. All usable devices were created using this element, and all Mutaplast materials were approved for various household items. Bring your Mutaplast to your local mutating corporation for recreation of a new item of your choice. So basically, you have this Mutaplast. It lasts for a lifetime, but depending on what you need at the time you need it, like seasons. So you'd say, during this season, I would need this object, and during that season, I wouldn't need, during this season, I wouldn't need an item that I would need in that season, kind of thing. But seasons aren't very different either. So you'd say, okay, this item uses this ounce or this quantity of Mutaplast. This item uses the same, and then they got really fancy with being accurate, and that's that these two items use the same amount of Mutaplast. One is used in one season, whereas the other is used in another season, so that they're not a union of the two, like where you need both items at one time and twice the Mutaplast. So I think that's a good idea. It's like no surplus. It's like no surplus, but having everything you need when you need it. I like that idea. See a huge greenhouse outlining a massive transportation creation plant. Mutate Incorporated since the year 3000, and then that's as far as I got. There was more than that. There was more than that. I'm in a school somewhere. Anyway, that's the female narrator. Mutate Incorporated since the year 3000. That's funny. I'm serious. I'm gonna carry it over into Jot. We could just find the other Jot file. Like, where did I put it? Where did I put Jot? Like, it has to be here somewhere. Anyway, I'm going on like 25, 26, 20, 25 minutes. I'm going to end this recording and move on to something else.